Hi, welcome. Just want to talk about camel going through the eye of a needle. There seems to be a lot of confusion on this. So if you go to the description below, there should be a link to this PDF here. And if you bring your cursor upper right, allow you to download it. The first thing I want to point out, let's look at the passage. So we have here the camel goes through the eye of a needle right here, 16 verses 16 to 25 or 26 of Matthew 19. But then you should continue on. We had 27 to 30. Notice the word here, then. Okay, that is a continuation. That continues on the conversation. There are no disconnects here. There's a continuity and flow between this section here and this last section here. They go together. All right. So then Peter said to him, "Behold, we have left everything and followed you." This is directly connected to what Jesus was talking about right here. All right. So where the camel going through the eye of a needle. Let's see here. Camel goes through the eye of a needle. These two, this here, is directly connected to what's going on right here. All right. How so? Well, let's take a look here. You have back then they had gates. Okay, that's in the Bible. But the problem is, okay, scholars will say there's nothing written about it. There's no evidence. Therefore, it didn't exist. Now think about that for a moment. Who's going to write a hole about, write about a hole in a wall? Nobody's going to do that, especially for its matter of security. So I basically point out right here. Let's just read what I wrote. Just because there were not much written about the needle gate above does not mean it did not happen. Who or why would anyone write about a hole in the wall that was kept hush when someone arrived with a camel late at night when the guards already went to sleep? Especially when papyrus is a valuable, expensive, and rare commodity for the people in their day to write on. They did not have an abundance of paper like we do today. Okay, and they relied heavily on oral traditions, So this is not something that anybody's gonna write about. Okay, so if you're expecting somebody to write about a hole in the wall, if that's you, when's the last time you wrote about a hole in the wall? All right, so just something to think about. So this is something that the Jew could relate to. All right, but this is something that they would have been, they would have helped somebody out with a camel, in all likelihood. To my understanding, it's something that would have been late at night. The owners did not want their camels left outside the gate. There could be some wild animal get to it, whatever. So they would try to get the owner to try to, to keep it camel, try to strip the camel of all its belongings, and then enter through that gate, the needle gate. Okay, which is parallel to what Peter's saying. We left everything and followed you. The same thing. So the camel would get stripped of everything, and it would get down and try to get through. The owner would be in front because the camel trusts the owner, and somebody else would take the stick and bang the camel from behind. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. So anyway, and let's look at the Greek a little bit. So from primary to so, rather akin to the base of 4474 through the idea of puncturing. Okay, so it's basically this so here. That's a verb. That portion does not fit what's going on here. I think that's throwing people off. All right. So through the idea of puncturing a needle, so you're puncturing the camel through the needle. We need to look at more of the Greek here and not stop there because otherwise we're going to be confused. Base of 4474, just continue on. Derivative of primitive, to let fall, rap, to slap, okay? Smite with the palm of a hand, okay? So that would be not the owner himself, but somebody else behind helping him out. So all likelihood, disciples were probably helping somebody else, the owner of the camel, okay? Slap him behind. And then it said compared 5180, so let's continue. Prime verb in a strength form to thump, pummel with a stick or bastonado, but in any case by repeated blows. Okay, again, thus differing from 3817. I don't know where that is, but which usually single blow with the hand or any instrument. All right, with the fist or hammer, palm. Okay, punish to offend. Okay, I don't think they're punishing the camel. It probably felt like punishment to camel. So this was extremely difficult. Yeah, beat, smite. Okay, it might even get a wound. All right, so that's the idea here. The owner would have gone through the gate first, and then somebody else would take the stick and be pounding that camel through, trying to get through after they stripped the belongings off the camel. Okay, so when the disciples hear that, like, well, how is it possible then? All right, because it's extremely difficult. So that's what's going on here. All right. So let's compare the conventional idea of going through a sewing needle eye. Okay. So this is a 2-meter tall camel. It's a typical height. A sewing needle was like 2 to 3. So the eye would be 2 millimeters this way and 3 millimeters this way. Okay. Do you really think that a 2-meter tall camel that's even possible to go to 2 to 3 millimeters? Do you really believe that? It's impossible, right? I agree. So Jesus said, let's go over here. It is, again, I say it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. That means it's possible. Okay, if something is easier, it has to be possible. If it's impossible, then it's no longer easier. It doesn't fit. You see what I'm saying? And for the rich man entered the kingdom of God. So this is less possible than this. Okay, when you compare possibilities. So this is less possible than this. You with me? With men, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. All right? So the point I'm trying to make here is this is easier, which means it has to be possible. Okay, if it's easier than an impossible condition, then it has to be possible. Okay? And this one is less possible. It can go all the way to being totally impossible. Okay? Do you see the difference? Possible versus impossible, easier. Okay? That's the point I'm trying to make here. So Jesus used that Greek word. It's in there, right here. Okay? In order to fit this interpretation, you have to take this Greek word and completely rip it out. Otherwise, it's a false statement. You see what I'm saying? Then it's no longer easier. You can't have two conditions being impossible and at the same time saying one's easier than the other. That's no longer a true statement. All right? Now, if you want to go with this interpretation, sewing eye of needle, what does that have to do with when Peter said to him, "Behold, we have left everything and followed you"? What does that have to do with the camel doing something that's impossible, going through a sewing needle that they can't even relate to? I mean, I don't think they think about sewing and, oh, well, we gave up everything for you, Lord. Yeah, we give everything sewing for you, Lord. No, is that fit? No, it's not. It doesn't. It's completely off the wall. Okay. All right. So it had been something that the disciple could relate to. This they could relate to. Okay. This no, it does not fit. All right. So, yeah, and then again, look at here. Okay, if this is going through a sewing needle, then it's impossible. And by using the word easier, then this has to be less possible than impossible. This right here, this line right here, less possible than impossible. Well, it doesn't make sense. See what I'm saying? You go with that interpretation. And that's, like I said, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but some people believe to talk about like a cable going through the eye of a needle. If you go with that interpretation, what does that have to do with this here? It doesn't have anything to do with it. So the three possibilities of interpretation, this one fits very nicely what's going on. Yes, there is nothing written about it. But if you really expect somebody to write about a hole in the wall, especially when all they had papyrus back then to write on, it was an expensive, valuable commodity. Are you going to spend $500 so you can write about a hole in the wall? It has no value to anybody around you. Are you going to do that? No, I don't think so. That might explain why we don't see anything written about a hole in the wall. But, so that scholars say there's no evidence supports it. Okay, but we do find in the Bible they had gates. Okay. So anyway, I think I'm just going to wrap it up there. Hope you enjoyed the material. Hope you're using your critical thinking skills. That's what this channel is all about. I created this channel because I want to get rid of the world of hearsay, and this is the dominant view here. And obviously, people are not thinking this through. It does not fit what's going on here. It does not fit the word easier. It does not fit with the rest of the Greek here. It does not fit with common sense. It does not fit with going at the data. Try to say that they would have written about it, and you obviously not look into setting if that's your argument. So they just did not have an abundance of paper like we do today. All right, well, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the material, and you have an awesome day.